Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Playbook Diaries podcast, where there's a story behind every single play. I am Jordan,
And it's your girl, Nicole.
and we're in for another week of sports updates and drama. Nicole, kick us off with the game scores from this past week.
First off, how are you doing? I saw
No, bitch, I don't want to.
it.
I don't want to do it. I'm sleepy. Come on.
I said it first. I'm just checking
First
on you.
off,
I'm just checking
no,
on you. I saw the Sooners.
girl, shut up.
All
Don't piss me off.
right, let's talk about some good games. It's so crazy because Georgia versus Texas, I bet my bottom dollar that Texas was going to come away with it. But Georgia, pimp slapped them 30-15. Still solid game. And we actually have some juicy discussion about that, but we will circle back to that, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Cool,
Yep,
cool,
we'll
cool.
circle back.
And then LSU beat up on Arkansas 34-10. And then we have A&M who killed Mississippi State 34-24. And then Tennessee.
That is not a kill. It's
I
10
mean,
points.
it's lost.
They beat him. They didn't kill him. Manslaughter,
You're
not,
annoying.
not murder. Manslaughter,
They
not
didn't
murder.
kill. Tennessee beat Alabama 24-17, and it's actually crazy because Alabama dropped all the way to number 15, and I feel like that's like the lowest I've seen Alabama like ever.
Ever. Yeah.
Like,
In our lifetime, I really think that that's the lowest we've ever
like
seen
what the heck?
Alabama.
And
Um,
then it was an easy game with Colorado versus Arizona, 34-7.
Now
And that
that was a kill. You can use the kill on that
you
one.
know that was a kill. That was a kill. But yeah, I haven't seen Alabama this low ever. I don't know if they deserve to be that low, but I guess that's what happens when you lose two back to
Two
back.
losses. Two losses. Two
Yeah,
losses.
yeah. What?
I don't know how that came up behind me.
Let me.
You can see that too. I'm like,
I was trying to do what you did to see.
two, 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 two. I don't know how
They're
that came.
showing
I
us.
don't know what that did. Well,
Okay.
anyways, so talking about some of those games, I think the Bama Tennessee game was really good.
The Bama Tennessee game was a really good game.
I think that was the best game that we had this week.
Oh, for sure.
Um, it was the closest game out of the ranked teams, and it was just boring. SEC, they just play too much damn defense. I'm used to the Big 12 play. Everybody just score back and forth. Like,
Off,
motherfucker throwing
offense.
for 34 yards, 45
Yeah.
yards to score. That has not happened in the SEC. It's just like, oh my gosh, all these stops. Like, please, somebody just break away.
Down.
But the interesting thing about that game was Tennessee could have blew the bricks off of out of Alabama.
Okay.
Tennessee had what, two interceptions, um,
But
three missed field goals.
yeah,
They could have gave Bama the
the
business,
business. Yeah.
and they only beat them by what? They beat them by 10, but they really could have beat them by like 20 points.
7.
They beat them by 7 by a touchdown.
17, yeah.
Oh yeah, they could have beat them by, I want to say, like 3 touchdowns,
Oh, easily.
because Tennessee's quarterback was not looking the best. He is definitely not in the Heisman race anymore. If he was,
Right.
but he wasn't looking the best. Most of the balls for Tennessee were overthrown, so we had an issue with accuracy. Um, and if it was three of them while I was watching the game, where if they would have been accurate throws, Tennessee would have took it to the house.
We went and took it to the house. It
Yeah,
was it was definitely a good game. Who is speaking of Heisman, that running back from uh Boise State.
Boise.
Yeah, Ashton Jeanty.
Hmm.
He's in the running for the Heisman, of course, Travis Hunter. And Oregon has a player who is in the running.
Is it
Dylan
their
Gabriel, quarterback.
Dylan Gabriel's their quarterback? Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. There's a it's gonna be a tight race with the Heisman. But no, Tennessee and Alabama was a great game, probably the best game during the weekend. Initially, the Texas Georgia game was very slow.
So slow.
It was very slow.
It was like just no scoring, and I was like, oh my gosh, this
Yeah.
is gonna come down to like. And then I want to say I fell asleep and I woke up to
Damn.
chaos. I woke up
Tell us
and
about the chaos.
it was literally during the drama. So if you didn't catch it, there's huge controversy, and we're talking about. Let me just get into it. Huge controversy in that game because there was a play where a Georgia player and a Texas player are going after the ball. I want to say the ball is supposed to be going to, it's intended for the Georgia player. I want to say Georgia was on offense at the time. And there is some contact made by both teams, by both players. The refs blow the whistle, throw down the flag. It's a flag, what's it called? Pass interference. But like during that play, they're both really handsy, but Texas intercepts the ball. But the refs throw the flag down, like I
Yeah.
said, and call it pass interference on defense, which was Texas. The stadium goes nuts, and the players are pissed. But even the announcers were like, "That's not the right call." You
Yeah.
know, that no, they were both handsy. It should have canceled out. They should have just went on. The Texas student section begins to throw water bottles and trash on the field during the game.
That's crazy. I saw that's ridiculous.
Throwing debris and would not stop. This is going on for like 3 minutes, which it doesn't seem like a long time, but in real life, it's like that's a
That's a
long time
long
to
time.
be that's a long time to be throwing stuff.
Yeah.
And to the point where Sarkeesian, the coach, has to come on the field and beg them to stop.
Please stop.
Like, please stop. Embarrassing.
It's very
Y'all have no clue, not demure at all. So then the refs, here's the killer part, the refs reverse the call. Now, what is the issue in this? The refs reverse a call that was not under review. It was not under review, meaning what they called stood unless they corrected it right then and there, took their flag off. This is like 5 to 10 minutes later.
Yeah.
Like it was so long after the Texas students threw the stuff on the field, after it took all the cheerleaders and the spirit staff and security to pick up the debris off the trash. And then the refs are like, hey, we're taking away the pass interference. That's not allowed.
That's not allowed at all.
And so even though it was the right call, they corrected it to the right call, it sets a nasty ass precedence.
It does.
For games in the future, because you're going to have other teams that mimic this behavior and say, oh, if we can get what the fuck we want by throwing shit at the refs and throwing on the field, then we're gonna run amok. And you do not want fans to think that they ever have that much control over the game. There are going to be errors in every single game. Yeah. Because these people are having to make these, fast, real life decisions like very, very quickly, and they don't have an aerial view the way we have it. They're trying to keep track and look at 22 people on the field at once.
It's true.
So there are going to be some slip ups.
They have to have gotten in trouble for that because
you talking about the refs?
Yeah, like
100%. I'm sure that the NCAA was like, yo, the crew from Georgia, Texas. I don't know if they would fire them, but it's like, this is not allowed because the play simply was not under review. Yeah. And when we updated the listeners about the new rules for this season, every conference has their review system. And in football, you can review a play up until the next one. But the coach had already accepted it. Like, Sarkeesian, the Texas coach, had already accepted the penalty and moved on. Mind you, this is when the score is 23-8 in the third quarter with like the 2 minutes and 30 something seconds remaining. So it's like, Texas, y'all did all this for a game that y'all are probably going to lose. Like, I would have saved that. Whatever. I would have saved that for a closer game. Like, if we're down by 3, let's use that lifeline now because they'll never be able to use it again. Because now refs are going to be instructed, like they're going to be reminded, do not don't do shit again.
Do not. Here's the
thing.
Don't
do it again.
You're saying it as though that was like a team strategy. This just occurred.
Well, you had one person throw debris and then there's like a pause, and then you just see a shit ton of debris flying from the stands. And like as a Texas alumni, not me,
Oh,
not me, not me. If I were Texas alumni, I would be so embarrassed because it's like, damn, we're sore losers like that. Like we have no coup, no decorum. Like that's embarrassing. And I
that's
know that there was a thing in the Big 12 where they said the worst stadium to play in the Big 12 was at TCU because the kids were spoiled and they would throw stuff when you
they
come
were
out
act out.
when you come out of the tunnel because they just had no fear of like repercussions and consequences. Well, when Oklahoma played TCU in the Big 12 days, beer cans. There
Yeah,
is no beer. There is no beer sold in the stadium
yeah.
at this time. So it's like these people snuck beer cans in and
Like
would
how
like
y'all have
pour sodas as Oklahoma's walking out the tunnel, and we would just be like, oh, like the players hate. And it wasn't just an Oklahoma thing. The Big 12 hated playing at TCU because their fans were awful, and so you see this, and Texas is known for like its class and
yeah
really its superiority. And it's like that stunt that they pulled on Saturday just kind of, I don't want to say tarnished as if like they won't get it back, but it put a stain
for
on the
sure.
University of Texas. It's like, well, y'all students don't know how to
Y'all
act.
don't know how to act anywhere, and it shows. Yeah, that was ridiculously crazy. Um, what games do we got coming up?
Okay, so this week we actually have five different games where both opponents are ranked. So up first we have number 20 Illinois versus number 1 Oregon. We'll have number 12 Notre Dame versus number 24 Navy, which I really want Navy to
I
take
really want
Notre
to see that.
Dame out.
Yeah, and it's the
I
morning
want
game.
Notre Dame out.
Yeah.
Then we have number 21 Mizzou versus number 15 Alabama. I'll actually be at that game in person.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, I've never been to Bama Stadium before, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to the stadium. But at the time when I picked that game, Mizzou wasn't ranked, so I was like, oh, the tickets will be super cheap.
Or
Now Mizzou is ranked.
yeah,
So then we have number 5 Texas versus number 25 Vanderbilt. Let me remind you, Vanderbilt beat Bama.
remember that. I'm not worried about
Do I
that.
think they're gonna be? I'm not worried about it either.
Yeah,
Do I
like
think that they're gonna be Texas? Really, not at all. I think Vanderbilt had a really good game when Alabama had a really bad game, and it would just happen
yeah,
to be on the same day. I'm not worried about Texas and Vanderbilt. Honestly, their fans were crying, "Rank Vandy!" It's like, all right, girl, y'all still not getting into the
please.
playoffs, but
Yeah.
throw their ass in there. It's like a pity rank. And then the last one, this is the one I'm most excited for this week, and it's number 8 LSU versus number 14 Texas A&M.
Which is gonna be a good game. I think that's gonna be a really good
It's
game.
going to be a good game because both of those teams have one loss.
Haven't
The
they?
two S, the two SEC teams, so somebody else is going to come out with a loss, and then you have Mizzou, Alabama, two more SEC teams that are going to come out with a loss. But
One.
Bama and LSU have a couple, and Texas A&M have a couple more opportunities to lose. All those teams can
Yeah,
lose a second and third time.
yeah,
Um, Off the top of my head, Texas A&M still has to play Texas,
yeah.
where the tickets are $1,400 up to $4,500.
I'm not surprised at all. I'm not surprised at all. And
Battle of the two um, highest alumni. What is it? Texas and Texas A&M are the two most profitable NCAA football teams
I could, yeah, easily.
in the country. Their alumni is so big.
They're
Remember, both of these schools have like a student population of 50, 60,000.
for sure.
So
That would be a great game to go to.
Texas is going to blow the brakes off of A&M. I'm
I
not
don't know
paying that
about
much
blowing
money.
right.
They are. They
I
are,
don't know
but
about blowing
the
right.
game is in College Station, so hopefully that like helps Texas A&M out. But I just feel like Texas is so solid this year. Um, I'm not worried about Texas with Texas A&M. Then you got LSU has a couple games to play. The LSU still got to play Bama.
Yeah,
So
they both have
literally,
room
we
to lose.
a lot of room. And then you have Mizzou has room to lose too. I mean, like I said, I called it. Give me my props. If you remember the first episode, second episode, I said the SEC is the more dominant
Oh,
conference.
for sure.
But I said they're going to cannibalize each other. Them three losses, the committee's going to be like, well, we can't let a team with three L's into the playoffs, even though the SEC's three L's are like, these are some hard hitting
Solidified L's.
L's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These are the figure L's.
But
I mean,
it's actually gonna be more difficult than we thought because the SEC is super dominant this year, but then you have these teams that are in way less dominant conferences and they're going to come in with one loss or no losses. And it's just like, we have to let them in. They have no losses. But it's really like, well, duh, they're playing high school JV
they're
teams.
playing.
They're not playing nobody. Like Notre Dame ain't played nobody. To me, Illinois hasn't played nobody. Who
Boise
did they
State.
just beat this week? They beat Michigan, but Michigan ain't been nobody this year.
They ain't played nobody.
Boise
Yeah. So,
State hasn't played nobody. BYU hasn't played nobody.
we'll see.
We shall see.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what the CFP ranks all these teams because the only ranking that matters is CFP. If you're new to college football, the AP rankings are the AP rankings, and you have the coaches poll. But the only ranking that matters when it comes to the playoffs is the college football playoff committee. So with that, we'll go to the next. We'll go to the next topic. What's up next?
Oh my gosh. I literally was hanging on tooth and nail face right here at the TV screen because the WNBA finals were ridiculously crazy. Shout out to the New York Liberty for winning their first ring, or maybe their first ring in like the last 20 or 30 years. Actually, I think, yeah, their first
It's
ring.
their first ring ever.
It's their first ring, and it was a crazy one. The game literally went into overtime. This was obviously a 5 game series, and it's ridiculous because every game except one went to like the last minute. Like literally, like this game went to overtime. Um, Brianna Stewart had an okay performance for this last game, but I mean they killed it, and I just love it. Sold out stadium. The the way women's basketball has grown since they showed that they was only giving them dumbbells in 2020, like two or something, like 2021,
No,
2022.
I think it was 2021. I think it was COVID when they were comparing their
Oh
the
my
NCAA
god.
women's locker rooms. That shit was embarrassing too.
It
I was
was
like,
so
damn, y'all didn't even
embarrassing.
try to pretend that they was on par with the
It
men, like y'all
it
cared.
was it's so embarrassing because like so nobody who went to work saw that and said like this
This
okay.
is a problem.
Like this is a big problem. But you see what happened, like that's crazy. So it was a sold out arena. Um WNBA season is over. Brianna Stewart and Nafisa Collier just actually started their own basketball league, which starts in January, called Unrivaled, which is a women's 3-on-3 basketball league. So that should be great. I'm excited for
Yeah,
that.
I heard Angel Reese talking about it on her podcast.
Yeah, and TNT just picked up some media rights for that, which is great, which is a big dub. And so I'm interested to see how that goes. But shout out to women's basketball because it's definitely here.
Question:
Yes, ma'am.
Isn't this Brianna Stewart's? I don't know how many rings, but doesn't Brianna Stewart has have championship rings with three different WNBA teams now?
No, not at all. This is her first ring.
Brianna Stewart?
Yeah.
Who was on the other team? Who's the star player on the other team?
Nafisa Collier.
No, no, no. The not the New York Liberty.
I'm
Who were
so
they
sorry.
playing?
You're actually right.
I was like, Brianna Stewart has three rings from
He
three
has
different.
three
She
rings.
is
Wow. I'm tripping.
she has three rings from
She
three
won with
different
the Seattle
teams.
Storm. Yes, she won with the Seattle Storm.
Then she has this one from the New York Liberty. Who is her second ring from?
She had two rings with the Seattle Storm and then one ring with the New York Liberty.
I thought
This
she
is
had another one from someone else. Okay,
this is this is Sabrina Ionescu's first ring.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
I completely forgot about her rings in Seattle Storm. I completely forgot about Seattle Storm.
They're not a team
Because
anymore,
they're
are
not
they?
even team. Yeah, that's why I'm like, what are you talking about? Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not
Okay.
anymore. There is a new team coming to the WNBA, which they've announced a couple of months back, which is the Bay Area Valkyries. I wasn't a big fan of the name, but it has a lot of historical references, and so
I
let's
don't
get.
want it to be in California. Like, how many teams do y'all need in California? Shit. Like, I think that Houston could have used the team. I saw people
They
saying
could have used it
Houston. They said, who else?
because
What
they
city
could
were
have
they?
easily brought back the Houston Comets.
I
That's who
saw
it was
I
before.
saw that comment in the comments. I saw Houston, and then
Pure
I saw oh, what was the other? It was like three cities where I was like, yeah, that would have been good. They said one for the DMV, and I
DMV would have
can't
been
think of
good.
the other one.
I
Was
mean,
it Florida? I
honestly,
don't think Florida.
honestly, um, I would just go by the most populated cities in the United States. I feel like they should have easily gotten like San Antonio, in my opinion. They used to have the San Antonio Stars, but San Antonio was like the seventh most populated city in the country, and so I feel like they should have led the way that way. And San Antonio doesn't have an NFL team. They just have, the Spurs. And that would have been an
Yeah,
easy, duo, in my opinion. I think that would have been a great city.
yeah.
So
Oklahoma City. I don't know how Oklahoma City feels about women's sports outside of
that would
softball,
be
but
tough. I think that should,
don't nobody want to live in Oklahoma City.
huh?
Don't nobody want to live in Oklahoma
Don't nobody
City.
want to live in
That's
Oklahoma City. I'm not going to hold you. Don't nobody want to live in Oklahoma City.
at
So,
all.
so shout out to women's basketball season over. I'm excited about Unrivaled, which starts up in 2025. NBA starts this Tuesday, October 22nd. The NBA is back. I'm actually gonna watch the opening game.
In person?
No,
Okay. You know what Drake said.
it's true. But I
You know what
definitely
Drake
led up
said.
to it like I was going to, you know. I'm gonna go to the Cosm to go hang out and watch LeBron ball. And speaking of LeBron, Bronny has not been doing. Let me chill. The last game, he did pretty well. He scored 17 points and had a field goal percentage of about 41. That's not
Oh
bad.
wow, that's good. That's
That's
good.
that's not
Because
bad.
he's way shorter than the average NBA
You gotta
player.
say it twice.
Way.
He's like 6'2".
I be thinking about Bronny. I be thinking me and Bronny are like the same height. I be thinking he like 5'10", like me. He don't
He's like
look
6'2".
tall.
But you
But
never
I guess
know.
when you're standing next to people that are
6'8".
6'10",
Yeah,
yeah, you're gonna look
yeah.
short. Okay.
He's like
He's
6'2".
he's okay.
So I'm excited that the NBA season is back. And let's get it. We're in the fall. We're in the fall winter. So
So let me ask you, what players are you looking forward to seeing play? NBA.
I'm looking forward to Kevin Durant. That's my guy. I am looking forward to LeBron James. I mean, he's turning 40 this year, and he's playing like he is definitely not 40. I feel like he's about to round this up. Obviously, not this season, but in the next couple of seasons. So I plan on. I've seen him once in person. I need to see him again. And I need to check out KD in person. So I think those two players. Steph Curry has my heart too. Um, and those are the people that I'm interested in seeing. I definitely think Mavs is going to the finals again. I'm curious to see how Clay Thompson will work with our team. But we
Hmm.
welcome Clay. I'm not a believer just yet, but we will see.
Okay. All
I'm not
right.
a believer just yet.
I mean, it's so hard for me to get into NBA. They have so many games.
It's a
It'd be
lot.
like I get overwhelmed. That's why I don't be into like baseball because I'm like it's
It's
too many games to like keep up with, and then you feel like you're out of the loop and
for
you're
sure.
out of,
You're
you know,
behind easily.
yeah.
Yeah, because
And
there's
so
like
I
a game
just
like every other day.
yeah, and I'm just like I can't get into it. Like I can't
Yeah,
do
it's
it.
sure. I get you. I get
With
you.
with college football, I can sit there on Saturday.
One
and
day.
chill and not have to do work. I don't have to be like, oh, I can't do this because I got to do work at work. Like NBA is like, fuck that. We playing today.
They play like every other day, literally.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm excited. You know, basketball's my favorite sport, so um,
Okay.
I gotta, I'm gonna be definitely tuned in. I have YouTube TV, and I'm the
The
one.
four screens. Okay.
What?
I did that. I did that for the first time this week, and that's why. But I felt like I missed certain things from certain games
It's
until I
fair.
saw like, oh, they've been on hold for a minute. What's going on? And then I go
It's fair.
click on it. But yeah, I like YouTube TV, so shout out to them too.
Yeah.
Um, I do. Okay, I'm gonna go off topic because this podcast is a little bit shorter than we intended it to be.
What's up?
Did you see the Kayla Nicole interview with Angel Reese?
Yeah, and I saw that Angel Reese asked her a specific question, like, "What was the dumbest thing that you ever did, ever with the relationship?" And
Yeah.
she answered the specific question, and then
Uh-huh.
she got flamed up for it, and it was like, "Don't ask me nothing no more."
So some people were accusing Angel Reese of like purposely getting, asking questions that she knew would go viral, etc. I don't agree with that. We all know the media is way tougher on Angel Reese. I took it as Angel Reese is not a trained media professional.
Yeah,
Like that's just not her profession. And then two, she's young. She was,
yeah,
I think Angel, because I was looking at her and I was like, she's referencing the cards that were in her hand. I was like, she's referencing the cards, but she's not really relying on them. And she would go long stints of time without even looking at them. And
yeah.
so I'm like, because I hyperanalyze everything. I'm like, I'm in my FBI bag. So I'm like, she was going so long without looking at them. I said, she's coming up with these questions off the top of her head.
Probably. I don't think that she was
There,
setting
it was a
her up.
lot of follow up questions. It was a lot of follow up questions.
I'm sorry.
It was a lot of follow up
Oh,
questions.
I don't think
Like
that she.
Kayla would answer, and then Angel Reese would
Yeah.
be like, "Oh, we'll talk about this," and I'm like, she knew she didn't have that written down anywhere.
I don't think that she was setting her up at all. And if they're saying that she put her in a position to um, like for reels to blow up or whatever, that's what you would want.
Yeah,
Um, you know, uh,
yeah.
that is the goal. Is not to embarrass the person, but it is to ask juicy questions that
That
we
people want to
didn't.
know. It's what the people wanted to know.
Like, so they're just being hypercritical, and Tiana Taylor was too serious as well.
Oh, she was way too serious. It's like,
Way too
girl,
serious, bro.
I was like, yeah, I was like, it was a
Like, come
little
on, bro.
much because I felt like Kayla never said anything that was just like disrespectful. There was a part where when I watched the clip, I said, this is going to be taken the wrong way. And I went and investigated myself and I watched the whole podcast from start to finish. Too many commercials, by the way. Anyways,
That's they gotta
um,
get their money.
every 4 minutes is fucking crazy.
That is
Make
actually
it like every 10. That's too much for
that's
an hour long podcast. I'm like, that's too many commercials. And they were long commercials. It
they
was
should.
literally like, I'm like, these commercials are 2 minutes long. I can't even skip these hoes. Oh my gosh. But anyways, when I went and watched the episode in its entirety, I realized that a lot of those clips, if you only saw the clip, they could easily be taken out of context. And the one that
Oh,
I'm
he.
referencing is that the do I look like I go 50-50? That one, I feel like that was slightly taken out of context because Kayla did preface it by saying, "I pay for all my own stuff, my hair, makeup, jewelry, bags, cars, house, everything. I pay for all of that on my own. But when I'm in a relationship, I don't go 50-50." And I'm like, why are we shaming her for saying she doesn't go 50-50? Now, I don't know what you do,
Why would
but
I go?
in a relationship, I go 50-50 because I like having my own separate things. I have my
I
own
have
house,
never.
my own car. Well, one, I have no car note. Like I live in an apartment, but I don't want a man living with me before we're engaged or married. So I need certain things separate. And I feel like, I mean, I'm a normal middle class working American.
Yeah.
So the people that I date fall in line with that too. And so by that standard, I feel like most middle class American working men maybe can't afford to pay their rent or their house
Stuff.
note on top of my hair, nails, makeup, and my rent.
I mean, I don't consider like the maintenance of myself included in a 50-50, 70, whatever type of conversation with dating.
Yeah.
However, I do not go 50-50 whatsoever.
So okay, so answer that for me. Like, does the man like pay for you? Like he just takes over your rent payments too? Because
I
I can see it if we live together, but it's like you have your household, I have mine.
yeah.
If we break up, we can all walk away. But I'm not in a position where it's like, oh my gosh, I
Are
can't
you
break up with him because I don't know where I'm gonna go.
are you talking about 50-50 if you're living with somebody?
No, I'm talking about 50-50, and we all have our own separate things.
What do you say?
I've never lived with a man before.
I haven't lived with a man either, so I haven't
Okay,
got that far.
so I'm saying like the men that you date, they just take over your rent. Like they're just like, oh, I'm gonna pay your rent.
No, I'm when you're even talking about 50-50, I'm talking about like dates and going places. Life.
Okay, we're on the same page.
Are,
Okay.
are we
We
on the
no
same
no
page?
no, we weren't.
Yeah, I'm like, wait, what?
But we were in the same book. I thought you were saying that the men that you date are just like, yeah, Nicole, I'm paying your rent, even though we live in two
Oh,
separate
no, no,
places.
no, no,
I'm
no,
paying
no.
your rent. I was like, damn.
I don't got like that just yet. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. I thought you were just talking about like when you're dating somebody. Like,
No, like I like you. So you said you don't go 50-50, but you're talking about on dates.
I'm talking about dates, things we do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay. So okay, now we're on the same page. So yeah. Okay. When I go on dates and stuff like that, the man pays most of the time,
yeah.
but every now and then I'll be like, oh, this is on me.
I mean, I feel like I'll do the extra credit, right? Um, like, I think that if we're having a good time and we continue on with fun, like, I think that you do need to be self aware. Like, you can get something. Like, come on,
Yeah.
we're the third place. Like, chill,
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
I have never had money conversations to where I've never had money issues in relationships. I've never, even with the whole ghetto ass 50-50 conversation, unfortunately, it's our people who have those conversations.
It's only art people.
It's possible people that are not us are having those conversations, but in closed doors, I don't know. But
They're not putting it on a
yeah,
microphone.
they're not. Yeah, we're definitely using that stuff for entertainment.
Yeah.
Um, I think that I guess I'll cross that bridge when I get there. Because I definitely like to live nice, and so I can't
I'm trying
imagine.
to think.
I am an attorney, right? So I can't imagine like 9 times out of 10. I'm not wishing it upon my life, but 9 times out of 10, I'm pretty sure a man's gonna want to factor that money into the relationship. Like he's not gonna be like keep everything,
Yeah.
But I don't. I haven't came across that just yet.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. I was like, wait.
yeah.
You
I'm
haven't
not.
had me stunned. I'm like, wait,
I'm like
what?
50-50 is so that's weird. To me, it's actually a weird conversation, kind of.
I feel like it is because I feel like you can like I don't want to say go off vibes because I actually hate that response. But like if you ask me on a date, you're paying. But I understand that some of the stuff that I do is out of the average person's norm. And so I do not expect certain people to like pay.
For the extraneous. So even if you don't ask me on the date, I'd probably still.
Now you're gonna pay for the first date. You're gonna pay for the first
I
couple dates.
have
I'm talking about like when we're like locked in and it's a little bit more serious. But because a lot of the stuff that I do is expensive, but I'm not paying for it. Like, so like going to these football games or like sitting in a suite. It's like I didn't pay for the suite.
yeah,
Someone is inviting me, like a former classmate or a former boss, because I used to work
for
in
sure.
sports. And so it's like, oh, hey, I have 2 tickets, bring you and your man. And so I come, but I wouldn't expect, like, we're at all these I mean, we go to a sporting event every weekend. So I wouldn't expect the person I'm dating to turn around and be like, hey, I'm going to pay for it this week. I'd be
I would
like, no. I was like,
I
no,
ended
no,
up
no.
thinking like if through my connections we got the tickets, I would. I'm not gonna put my dating business out there.
I don't know why, because so many people DM me like, tell Nicole I said what's up. I'm like, why are these? I get DMs about you all the time. I'm like, oh my god, shut
Hey,
up.
just letting you know if you're interested, I don't be paying. If that makes you
so
run or not.
so come paid already because I'm not paying.
I don't be paying. I be paying. I'm lying. No, I'm not.
I
Yeah,
don't know why
no.
you said. All right, cool. Well, I mean, that podcast was a nice listen. I actually think, like we mentioned before, um, Kayla Nicole is a trained media professional. She did a lot of stuff for the Lakers, like game time reports. She's currently with Brandon. I'm blanking out on his last name, but with I Am Athlete.
Yeah.
That interview was also really good, and you got to see a more personal side of her. The interview resulted in like tears, but I thought overall was still good. I think that, I mean, you and I know firsthand that the media can be mean. And I
Dude.
was so mad at Kayla Nicole for letting them make her cry. Because if we
It's
took, if
hard.
it is hard, but when we interviewed Cody Ford, we knew we were going to get hate.
But she probably got it 20,000 times more. Like she's more famous than us. Like it's
Okay,
up.
true.
Yeah.
But
And she didn't even go in on it with someone else. At least you can call me, I can call you. Like it's just her.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
At the end of the day, I was still mad at her for even letting them make her cry or like crying publicly. Cause it's like, I mean, you and me was arguing back and forth with people. It's like, all right, y'all not gonna talk crazy and we
I'm
just
not
see her be
gonna
quiet. Like, we're not famous yet. You gonna get your ass cussed out.
do.
But I mean, I have to screenshot people's LinkedIn's and be like, do you want me to send this to your boss?
Like
And
I will tell
people were very quickly, I'm sorry I took it too far. And I'm like, you're in my
yeah,
DMs
chill
threatening
out.
me over Cuddy Ford and Tiana, two people you don't know. Babe, take a step back from
Chill.
social media, delete the app for a couple of days, and fall back. You're doing too much. I literally had to remind people, but I did actually have a couple good conversations with some of the people that threatened me
It's the
after I screenshot their LinkedIn's, and they were like, "You didn't have to take it that far," and I'm like, and I actually
that far.
I
Yeah.
did, because you're not gonna threaten my life over an
Yeah.
interview.
It's because we're on social. It's just because like you're behind the screen. It's the boldness of being behind the screen. Like
You lose, it's also a sort of delusion. You're losing touch with reality. You want to be so involved with these people that you don't know, they don't know you, and to feel closer to your favorite creators, you feel like you have to defend them, et cetera, et cetera. So you're going after complete strangers. So I had to remind a couple people on
you
Instagram,
don't.
and it's like, you don't know these people, and I'm not like these other social media people. I will cuss you out, and I will take it further. Like, now I gotta send you your job and let you know that I
Now
have
we
your
got
boss on LinkedIn. And very quickly, everybody was backpedaling. You know, it's not that serious. I'm like,
right.
okay. Do you know that though?
Right.
So if the comments from the Cody Ford episode made me cry, I wouldn't do it on an interview. I'd like, edit that shit out. I
You
just didn't
know.
want her, because people were very intentionally misunderstanding her. So I hated that she cried over people that had no interest in understanding her, where she came from, or her perspective. And it was one group. It was, again, the I want to say it was similar fan groups. I would think that
Probably.
the
Yeah.
Tiana fan group would be the same as the damn Taylor Swift fan group.
Oh my god.
Very
Even
delusional,
worse.
very, yeah, oh, to a different extent.
It would be
Very
worse.
delusional, very not demure, very
Not that.
insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
Log log off, mammy.
So Kelly Nicole, hearts out to you, my girl. You can come share some more if you would like.
I mean, I have DMs from her from 2023 where I was trying to get her on the podcast.
Yeah.
Like, but shout out to Angel for getting it. I thought it was a good interview. Especially, I mean, Angel's not a media professional. I thought she handled it well. But, people gonna say what they have to say, and they're gonna support their faves and tear down who is not even against their faves, but anybody that is just not like super supportive of their faves either. the lesson is like you don't know these people in real life.
Don't
Don't
know
let
these
people on
people.
social media get to you. But other than that, we can wrap up the podcast. Nicole, um, you want to sign us out?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you guys for tuning in. Definitely come at us with things you would like for us to touch upon. The world of sports is humongous. We are all ears. It's your girl Nicole,
And I'm Jarden.
and you are tuned into the Playbook Diaries podcast. Peace out.